Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, guys and girls, baddies and bros, to a game that I've been seeing all over Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, even in some rare cases, YouTube. And I actually am doing this because I don't see it on YouTube that much. And I want to play it for you guys because it apparently is a popular game. I went on Steam and it has very positive reviews. I'm so sorry for that background noise. That's somebody using the shower. I happen to live right next to the shower, which sucks for me, but we're just going to go ahead and start the game. So, this is taking place in a forest, by the way, and it's two girls, and I believe the main character is a boy. The sound of our steps combined with that of the occasional nocturnal animal is the only thing we can hear. It's terribly dark in this place. The dense vegetation makes it impossible to see the sky or light from the moon. Our flashlights are the only thing that light up our way. At times like this, one begs not to run out of battery. This is about to low-key turn into like a horror story. We walk without knowing what we are really looking for, or better said, for no reason. We're just a group of boys, bored with our lives. Kind of like me. Trying to recreate a lasting memory on this night instead of just staying home and doing nothing. That actually sounds pretty fun. I've done that a lot. Like, I used to play outside at night with a lot of my friends and pretend we were, in a survival mode. Low key, we actually probably could have died by like killing each other because we had like pocket knives and everything back then. So looking back, it's not a good idea. Anyway, today is October 31st, Hallows Eve, or better known as Halloween. Three young men walk through a dark but up until now nothing special forest, me being one of them. We are doing it to prove our courage. It's too bad there isn't a girl here to see how brave we are. Oh gosh, you're so brave, Hansel. I bet one of the guys' names is Hansel just because he's out here. Saying it like that, one could say this is a meaningless effort. For a moment, I stopped to look at my watch. It's 1:49 a.m. Jesus Christ, man. That means we have been walking aimlessly for more than 2 hours now. This does not sound like a good mix. I'm sure that many people would find a place like this terrifying. But once you get used to it, the fear disappears, making it feel like normal. What makes us afraid of the dark is that we cannot know what hides in it, what lurks in the shadows. Shut up, PS4. It is clearly an empty darkness. At that moment, I sigh, feeling how tired my legs are. What's the point of being here? Clearly, we had already demonstrated what we wanted. It would be best to return. I should tell them. This is setting a pretty good, mental image for me. Other than the image of being in a dark wooded area on the screen. A dark, foggy, wooded area. I was about to speak when suddenly the atmosphere in the forest became strange. Suddenly, a cold chill ran through my body. It was like any other chill, except it wasn't going away. Like a night sweat? I don't know. For no reason, the air temperature dropped from 1 second to the other. So much so that my breath becomes visible, turning into mist. It doesn't end there. The air is now filled with a rotten smell, just a little short from being unbearable. Ugh. Images of worms, flies soon appear in my mind, giving me a really unpleasant feeling. That's so disgusting to me because I've been watching a lot of Resident Evil 7, and that game is so disgusting looking. And it's so alluring, too. We all stop at that moment. Axel, what's happening? Alright, so Axel, I was close. Hansel, Axel, I wasn't close. I was confused while running, turning to look at my friends. Oh, was the main dude's name Axel? By the expression on their faces, it was easy to know that they were just as lost as I was. Ooh. It was at that moment I heard footsteps nearby. It did not come from any of us. Ooh. We got it dead quiet after that. I'm gonna put both my headphones on because I feel like it'll be better. Usually I just have one on because the game is something that I can just background play while talking in the mic, but I feel like it's better for both this time. I don't know if it was out of fear or to check if it was not a mistake, but we stayed motionless like statues, paralyzed with fear, without making noise. Just looking at each other's faces, wondering the same thing. Friend. His name is Friend. What was happening? As if I could know. Ooh, we heard the steps again, and they clearly belong to a human, or at least a large animal, but there is something strange about them. It sounds as if the person walked dragging one foot. Just thinking about it made me shiver. Ah, it's a zombie, man. It's a zombie. Damn, why is this happening? It makes no sense. We should have returned home before, but now it's too late to regret it. I have the feeling that we are being stalked by someone. The strange footsteps stop, but I'm feeling the presence nearby. All right. I don't know where it is, but I know that it is looking at me. That cursed thing is looking at me. My heart is beating anxiously. Oh man, mine is actually kind of sparring up a little bit too. It's almost as if my body was telling me to get out of there. But strangely, my friend seemed unable to perceive it. Friend, it seems that it's gone, but it must have just been an animal. Horrible punctuation right there. Y'all can't see my mouse, but the I should be capital. So one of them convinced that we were safe. In complete thought, I would like to believe that too. I'm such an English nerd. The other side of relief, however, bad luck would soon strike us again. Is that like the end of the first scene or something? Unexpectedly, the forest becomes darker than before, just a blink of an eye. Oh, this is getting bad. But that wasn't the fault of the forest, but our flashlights went out. Oh man. Of the three, only one, mine was still working. What's going on? Did the batteries die? Obviously. As one of them scared while they both beat them desperately, as if that was going to revive them. Can't blame them. The idea of walking in the darkness was not pleasant for anyone. But after a few moments, we had no choice but to resign ourselves to that. Once more, the sound of our footsteps is heard, but the silence is different now. We are not quiet because we have nothing to say, but because we are afraid. We continue walking despite the fear that invades us. Visibility is almost zero, but we have no choice. This is a lot of reading, man. In theory, we were walking back looking for the exit, but I cannot remember anything of this forest. Such an intro. We'd be walking in circles, and I would never notice it until it's too late. I hate the thought of it. I just want to get out of here. Suddenly, my thoughts are silent. Ooh, that scares me a little bit every time. We hear the footsteps of someone or something. Once more, the three of us become statues waiting for the prince to go. I hold my breath while feeling my heart beating anxiously. Damn, get away from here. And leave us alone, man. Unexpectedly, the steps are heard closer, but this time they do not disappear, rather come at us. I can't stand it. Desperately, I move my flashlight everywhere looking for the author of those footsteps, hoping that the light to reveal their identity and erase our fears. Nothing. Is that all that there is around here? Just empty air and trees? My anxiety grows with each failed attempt, but I refuse to believe that it was a ghost. Well, I mean, you can marry a ghost apparently based on my last video, but who knows? Suddenly, when I move the flashlight again, I see a silhouette. I cannot distinguish what it was, but for a moment the light revealed something. Quickly, I point to the same place only to discover it was gone. Ah, this is spooky. I hold my breath anxiously. It was not an illusion. I'm sure I saw something. It was then that I hear something nearby. Without even thinking, I aim the light towards that place. It's dark now. What I found leaves us paralyzed with an expression of disbelief on our faces. A cat. It was a white cat with eyes of an intense red which stands before us. They were scared of a cat, man. A cat, man. It was just a cat. Her look is not the friendliest to say something. How do you know it's a her? Did you, like, pick it up and look at its... Anyway. Somehow I get the feeling it's a female cat. Okay, so you just go based off of a hunch. Suddenly she let out a thunderous meow that leaves us terrified. Okay. It sounded more like a lion roaring than a simple cat. The echo of her meow is heard throughout the forest, making it sound more sinister than it should be. It was then that suddenly an inexplicable force hits us three. I fall to the ground, and little by little my eyelids close. The fatigue becomes unbearable. I lose consciousness on the ground of the forest without knowing what was going to happen with me. Oh, don't tell me my friends are gone. Interlude. Before night falls. Alright, so that was like the intro, or the prelude. It was a day like no other, so no, that was almost painful. Am I out of the forest? The only special thing that could be said about that is October 31st. Far were the memories when I was a kid and went out with my friends. I'm so sorry, I can't read right now. With my friends to ask for sweets from house to house. Just remembering it made me sigh. Crooked Bridget, man. I feel nostalgic. Some things were better when I was a child, or at least seems like that. There were some who had good costumes, whether of superheroes or monsters. My friends and I, on the other hand, had to use our imagination. Creativity was our costume, you could say, no matter how funny it could sound. That's legit, man. That's legit. Use your mind. It's the most powerful tool you have. I remember that my mother once painted red my face and told me, the words should be like flipped a little bit because they're not really making so much sense when I'm reading them, and told me, you'll be the devil. Kind of morbid, man. Kind of dark. It seems only she saw it that way. When we went from home to home, everybody said I was the tomato man. Ha! But those things didn't matter to me since we always had a good time. ... If I asked for some candy now, even if I had the best costume, I'm sure no one would give me anything. It's probably because you're too old, man. Except perhaps a scolding for acting like a child when I'm 17 years old. Okay, when I was 17, I did go out to escort kids around, and I did get some candy when I asked for it. Like, if they had something I really liked, like maybe some Skittles or some Nerds or something, I asked for that because, you know, candy is something you can't outgrow, man. I still go to the vending machine like every night and get some Skittles. Don't judge me. Anyway, I can't stay in the past. I must live in the present, no matter how little exciting that might be. Okay, whoever made this game, honestly, you did an excellent job of, like, setting it up, but, like, grammar check, man. Grammar check. Back to reality. We are a group of friends who don't have any plans for today. We're still not old enough to go to a disco, and I doubt guys as us would have any luck in that environment. They make teen clubs. They're kind of boring sometimes, but they make teen clubs. The other option would be to go to a party, meet girls, and have fun. That's a pretty good option, man. Everything perfect except that nobody has invited us. Not being popular has its disadvantages. You don't have to... Okay. You just have to honestly know about a party to be able to go. You just have to know somebody there. A few somebodies, not just one person, because then you'll just be that one person at the party that doesn't know anybody. You have to know a few people there to be able to go to a party successfully. Hey Axel, let's have a couple matches. What do you say? Friend. My friend Steven called my attention while playing with the game console. Alright. Rush Red, I believe that's what the game is called, is a fast and quite complicated fighting game for me. Is it Smash Brothers? Because I like Smash Brothers. I would normally agree to play with him, but for some reason I don't feel in the mood today. How do you not feel in the mood for Smash Brothers? You know, you gotta hit that down tilt and then grab down throw to a footstool, stomp, and then triple jab lock, and then forward smash, man. You gotta do that stuff. I have no desire to play right now. Dude, I just straight described my play style in Smash. For any of you that play Smash, play me. You'll get down tilted to a grab down throw, footstool, triple jab lock to a forward smash. It always kills. I reply with discouragement. I almost feel bad for doing it. Boring. The AI is no rival for me. True spoken. Steven said with confidence that you're playing on normal difficulty does not help your argument. The clapback. Turn that computer up to level 9. I don't feel like losing, but if you want, you can challenge to Alfred. I said, leading the attention to my other friend. I don't know how to play that. You don't know how to play Smash? Well, you press A, B, and then every other button on the controller. Unanswered. Answered Alfred, doubting for a second. He is sitting behind the PC, but it seems that he isn't doing anything interesting. Go on Steam, man. The screen only shows a lot of text. I think he's on Wikipedia. Hey, don't you have something more fun to do? I asked with discouragement, without even thinking about what he was reading. Alfred looks at me, surprised. The actual problem of society is that people are not interested in discovering their history. Well, it's not that I'm not interested, it's just that I'm not interested. I mean, if you tell me, I'll listen, but I'm not gonna willingly go and get that information. That is an actual problem in society sometimes. He's one of the pseudo-intellectuals always looking for any rare information to appear smarter than others. When we forget our past mistakes, we are doomed to repeat them. He added later. That was an incomplete sentence. Anyway. What are you talking about? The village is small and its story is not interesting at all. Nothing outside the normal has ever happened in it. Alfred laughs mockingly after that. Your ignorance is worthy of praise. He pauses, filling his chest with pride. The very fact that it is a small town is the reason it is full of mysteries. Cool story, bro. Did you know that 20 years ago, no, I didn't know, on this date, oh, what date, a man disappeared? Ooh, never mind, interesting. So what about it? I asked without being impressed or even interested in the least. Things like that happen all the time in all places. Well, yeah, kidnappings do happen, murder, I mean, how to get away with murder. People just disappeared, case stayed open until they can't solve it, so it just closes. You don't know the history despite leaving in this very place. Living in this very place, dang. Alfred said while adjusting his glasses in an arrogant gesture. There's a legend behind the disappearance. That is what I was reading. After listening to him, I looked back at the computer screen with curiosity. It's then that I noticed that it's not Wikipedia, but some other page. Come on, read this and learn a little. Is it American Horror Story? No, it's more like, I don't know. It's not this, but it's not this. Alfred said, inviting to read what was on the screen. Both Steven and I moved closer to read it. This game is actually pretty decent. A town of Abingdon, Oxfordshire country, 1994. Oh, this game, 20 years ago. This game would be taking place in 2014. 3 years ago. It should be 199X. So it would still be relevant in like the 2010 to 2020 century. Decade. I'm an idiot. I came to this town with only 4,000 inhabitants to support them in an investigation. Truth is that never in my life have I seen something this strange. I won't say your typical detective-ish nonsense that I've seen thousands of strange things in my life. I've seen many crimes, yes, some difficult to solve, but that's not supposed to be capital in the middle of a sentence. But all of them were human. Even if you don't know how they managed to perpetrate the crime, you know that they are people like anyone else. In this case, I don't think I'm able to say the same thing. Truth is, I can't understand what happened. Setup? Oh, that's just like options. I was called for the disappearance of a man named Matthew Graham. 23 years, single. Last time he was seen, he was returning home from a Halloween party. He had drank alcohol, but was still sober. Or at least, that's what the witness said. Anyway, this is not something which can be explained with simple drunkenness. First of all, if you're drunk, you don't just get lost. Somebody eventually sees you and understands that you're drunk. And for the safety of themselves and other people, they try to steer you in the right direction. They don't just leave you. At least I wouldn't. I don't know people. He apparently got lost on the way home and decided to enter the forest called Oakwood. It had rained yesterday, so the ground was wet and muddy. We could easily find his traces, which were leading deep inside the forest. Apparently he walked for 3 hours before stopping. First of all, if you're like mildly drunk, why would you walk for 3 hours? I'd be excessively hungry. I say stop, but the truth is we don't know what happened to him. The tracks suddenly ended up in a clearing in the forest. And that's all. Well, end of story. That's closed book. I mean, pack it up, guys. We're going. There was no evidence of a struggle, no other trace or pieces of clothing on the ground. There was no blood, no more footprints, or anything else. The depth of his last footprints and the position they were in indicated that he was still walking. So was he like doing this thing and the footprints ended with like one footprint, then the next footprint, and then that was the last footprint? They didn't end up like both of them staying like that, but I don't know what happened. The depth of his last footprints in the position indicated they were still walking. I just read that. At no point he stood still. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was saying. It was as if he had vaporized in the air with all his clothes. So when you die, you take your clothes with you? That is something strange. Like, alright, so this is like some paranormal stuff. So would a ghost be naked all the time? Because when you die, you don't take your clothes with you, because your clothes are still on your dead body. You don't take them with you. Because I was watching, this was way in the past, Vampire Diaries, and he was seeing dead people, and his girlfriend still had, like, the same clothes on. Like, you don't take your clothes with you when you die. You at least, like, appear in some, like, white cloth or something. I don't know. In the middle of his walk, obviously, I can't believe such a thing, but I can't give another explanation. The only thing I remember is that near the footprints, I sensed a faint smell of rot. Ew. However, there was no animal corpses nearby. The cat ate him. It was ridiculous to think that he suddenly started to decay and became earth. I don't know, PETA kind of has some crafty ideas sometimes. In the end, the case was closed in just 3 days. Y'all didn't investigate. The case is open for like a week or more before it's closed, but no evidence of any kind. We couldn't say anything but that he decided to escape from the village. However, while officially there was no more to do, I couldn't sleep in peace, thinking about what could have happened to him took away my sleep. Man. In my mind, I thought all sorts of theories, like maybe everything was a plan developed by Matthew, but in the end they all seemed impossible. I decided to investigate more on the issue. I searched the town for similar stories. To my surprise, I found 4 more. Alright, so before I click and read that, alright, so if he's still walking, and he's in a forest, logic would indicate if the footprints don't ever stand still, it could mean that something snatched him from above. That's the obvious other last worst case scenario. Something snatched him from above, and he's just gone. Because obviously if you're snatched from above, you don't leave your clothes, nor do you leave a footprint of something standing still. Like, there are beasts that prowl and can kill from above. Little do you know, I found 4 more. All young men. Story was always the same. They walked in the forest alone, disappearing without a trace. Even more curious is that all of them disappeared on the same date, October 31st. Dude, is this like 4 years? No, 5 years, one after the other? That's crazy. But there's more. A detail that completely eliminates the possibility that there is a killer or kidnapper behind this is that the separation of the years, Roger Bacon, what a name, disappeared in 1924. Dude, that's so long ago. Michael Smith disappeared 1867. Bruh, that's 150 years ago. To the day. Not to the day, almost. 150 years ago plus 10 months. 8 months. Yeah, 8 months. Jackson Black disappeared 1813. My God. And the worst of all, Oswald Taylor disappeared in 1707. Bruh. Simply couldn't be possible. My curiosity led me to dig deeper. I thought that the answer may be in the past of the forest. It was then I discovered that what seemed to be a simple and boring forest actually had a great story. Before it was called Oakwood or Oaks Forest. The place was called Witchwood or Whitewood or something like that. I don't know. Witchwood. The word witch, Wyke, stood for witch. Has a huge similarity with which, taking into consideration that it's an old name, language changed over time, and indicates that it was the forest of witches. Apparently, more than 400 years ago, the people of the village believed witches lived in the woods. Fortunately, it's in Hansel and Gretel, man. They kill witches. Almost all the information is already lost. They were stories told in voice, without a properly written record. I just know that with the change of religion to Christian, people stopped seeing the witches with good eyes and began to hunt them. Alright, so Christianity, I'm not getting into that right now. I'm a history and biblical nut sometimes, because like, I do a lot of reading, and knowledge kind of just flows into me, and I just like start accumulating it. I don't share it with anybody until time comes, like Christian right now. But witches with the good eyes began to hunt them. Apparently, the last one before her death cast a curse on the forest, which even today continues to exist. Anyway, obviously I cannot accept something like that as the answer. In the end, dude, put spaces in between your periods and words. In the end, I have no other choice but to then accepting that each one of them escaped from the village, using the legend of the forest to make it look like it was something supernatural. Bruh. Okay, interesting story. I didn't know what that story was hiding in the sound. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and leave this episode here because I've been recording for 25 minutes. But this game is actually getting kind of, intriguing. I might be playing a little bit more of this, throughout the week. Because, it's only Tuesday for me right now. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like and post in the comments. Post in the comments if you like this game. Because, I really actually want to know that. I'm going to pre-record a few more. But anyway, just post in the comments if you like that. It'll probably stop or continue my series if one way or the other. But leave a like and post in the comments, and I will see you all in the next episode.